Hi, this is Mr. V, and today we're reviewing radical expressions. When you have a fraction in the radical that's the same as the root, so look at the denominator is going to be the third root of 7 to the first power. So the numerator would be the power of the exponent. So we can simplify x squared, x to the 2/3, that would be the third root of x squared. You could also write this as the third root of x quantity squared. And that's the rule that we're talking about with simplifying radical expressions. For the cube root here, this would be to the 1/3 power, or 6 times x to the 5th, y to the 7th, raised to the 1/3 power. That's changing it from a radical expression to a exponent, from an exponent expression to a radical. When we have a negative exponent, that's the same as 1 over our expression to the positive exponent, so 1 over 81 to the positive 1/4. And the positive 1/4, that's the fourth root of 81 to the 1 power, which is 81 to the fourth root of 81 is going to be 3. So this is the same thing as 1 over 3. These examples are meant to give you a sampling of what you're going to be doing for your homework. Notice the denominator is the root, the numerator is the power that we're raising it to. This is not so convenient, doesn't help us very much, but if we take the third root of 27 and then square that, that's a lot easier than taking 27 squared. So there's different ways of writing the same thing. The cube root of 27 is just 3, and so 3 squared is 9. We're going to simplify this expression. I'm going to write this as 6 times 9 divided by 9 to the 3/2. That's 9 to the 1 divided by 9 to the 3/2. You can subtract the exponents when they're the same base, and they're dividing. So I could write this as 9 to the 1 minus 3/2, or 9 to the 1 over 9 to the positive 1/2. Well, 9 to the 1/2 is the same as the square root of 9. That's the 2 is in the denominator, the 1 is in the positive. So that's just 3. So 6 over 3 is the same as 2. This complicated expression simplifies. Radical expressions. Here we have the same base, and the powers are different. We're going to add the powers, because you can add the powers when you multiply with the same base. 2/3, if we make it a common denominator, that's 8/12 plus 3/12, which is 11/12. And that's the 12th root of a to the 11th power. That's the way that simplifies. The denominator is 12, the numerator is 11. So the 12th root of a to the 11th, or you could write it as the 12th root of a to the 11th power. Since we're dividing, we subtract the exponents. We have this common base, so we can combine these by subtracting the exponents. And 4 over 6 simplifies to 2 over 3. And the 2 over 3, what that means in rational exponents is the cube root of x squared. Or you could write it as the cube root of x squared. These are all interchangeable. They all mean the same thing. Once again, we have a negative exponent, so I'm going to write that as 1 over my base, and then to the positive exponent, to the positive 1/3. 1/3 means it's going to be the cube root, so I'll take 1 over the cube root of mn squared. We got to combine the terms that have the like base. So you have the a to the 2, and with the 1/2 in the denominator, you subtract when you combine these. So the same with the b, it's 1 minus 1/3. That's a to the 3/2 times b to the 2/3. A to the 3/2 is the same as the square root of a cubed. And b to the 3/2 is the cube root of b squared. 2/3. And you'll notice that when it's a square root, we don't write anything, but it's the same thing as saying the second, the square root here, because it's in the denominator. The 6th root of 27x cubed. Well, this simplifies. Let's see. It's going to be 27x cubed to the 1/6 power. You could separate it like this, and it's not very helpful. I'm not doing anything useful there. So let's go back to the drawing board here. 27x cubed raised to the 6th power. Well, x has a cubed in it. Can I get 27 to write it as a cube? So that would be 3 cubed times x cubed. Raised to, it should be 1/6, not 6th. It should be 1/6 power. Sorry about that. 1/6 power. And now I can write this as 3x cubed to the 1/6 power. When you raise a power to a power, you multiply the exponents. So that's going to be 3x to the 1/2, quantity to the 1/2, or the square root of 3x. And that's how we simplify these rational expressions. This will come in very handy soon. I think this is my last one. It's either the last one or the next to the last one. The 4th root of 27 divided by 4th root of 3. Since they have the same exponent, I can combine them as the 4th root of 9. 9 is 3 squared, so I could write this as 3 squared raised to the 1/4 power. Power of a power, we multiply the exponents. These are the exponent rules, which you should know like the back of your hand. And so that's this to the 1/2, 2/4, or to the 1/2. And that's just the square root of 3. So good luck and success.